What's up, guys? In this video, I want to talk about why I started GymGrow, like why I even got into this game and why I'm helping gym owners. Meanwhile, I will also be doing some snatches, but at least it's more entertaining than me sat talking to a camera. So why did I even get into the whole gym business in the first place? Well, that takes me back probably 5 years now. Just finished uni out of a chemical engineering degree, which I didn't enjoy. I just felt like I had a massive passion for fitness. Like I'd always been big into sport throughout my entire childhood. And then to go into like a desk job, the thought of that, I was like, I just don't think this is for me. I did a 5-year degree in chemical engineering and hated it. I spent all my time thinking about training, going to the gym. I'd got into CrossFit when I was like 16 and really enjoyed that side of it. Got into the indoor rowing scene and it led me to being like, fuck it, let's open a gym. But COVID hit and the government was giving out loans to new businesses. And I jumped on one of them. So I ended up taking a loan out through the government and also borrowed some money off some family to set up what is now Hotbox, but it was called CrossFit Hisham at the time. And I put everything into it. I built everything from the ground up. So what I mean by built it from the ground up was literally, we found a unit, which was like an old car garage, and then completely refurbed it so that it had like showers, toilets, because it had none of that. And obviously rig, space to train, all the equipment, etc. But we didn't have the funds to do it properly. Like we couldn't just pay someone to do it. So I had to rope my family into it, my friends, helping out on weekends. I remember on opening day, we were like so close to not actually getting it open. We were like laying the mats down like the night before to like 3 a.m. in the morning, and we opened at like 9 a.m. the next day. But massive rush to get it up and running. And we had a great opening day, really successful. And then I remember like the day after or a few days after or whatever, coming to the gym and just being like, oh, now what? Like it was empty. I had no members. I'd spent all this time like bigging it up. I'm going to own this gym. I'm going to be able to train whenever I want. And then it happens. I'm like, I've built it. Why are the members not here? And I'd say it was very anticlimactic in the sense that I thought I'd just build it and everyone would turn up, but it doesn't work like that. I didn't realize. And I had costs going out. I had rent. I had my own wage. Like, how am I meant to live? And for the next year, I just went all in, as you do with any new business. And I spent most of my time coaching, cleaning, and doing admin. And I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I was literally just winging it and getting by. I was living at my parents' house at the time, so didn't really have any outgoings. I was sleeping at the gym underneath the stairs in between coaching classes because I was that burnt out, because I was there from 5:30 in the morning till 9 p.m. at night every day, Monday to Friday, and then weekends. Yes, you get people helping you coach, but like I didn't have any full-time staff because I didn't have any money to pay them. I don't think many business owners have a clue what to do to begin with. Like there's no school for business. Unless you've learned it from someone else, there's no way to learn something without actually doing it. And like all the theory and textbooks you could read in the world, but nothing will train you as much as opening the business and having costs to pay and salaries to pay and rent to pay and being like, right, how do I generate money? Because you really are in the position to have to make it work. But anyway, for the first year, I'd say massively overworked, in the sense that I just had no rest, no time off, and stressed out. I didn't know what to do. And I was pretty underwhelmed in the sense that like I'd built up starting my own gym. I had this massive thing for it. I'd been training for like 10 years at this point. I knew it was a massive passion of mine, but then to actually open it and be like, wow, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a fun train all the time with the boys, but actually it was like coaching 30 hours a week and worrying about who's going to cover the class on Sunday because I want to go out for a walk with my girlfriend. One of the biggest turning points I had was hiring a coach, hiring a mentor, not a coach to coach my classes. I mean, to learn from someone else who'd done it. This guy had ran a gym before. He was a business coach And he introduced me to systems and how you can have the same output again and again and again by systemizing the process, by having a recipe of things to follow. You never bake a cake and not measure any of the ingredients. You'd never just like close your eyes and be able to do it unless you've done it a million times, but then it's not teachable to the next person. And so it was finding a way to predictably get members signed up every month, because I would have some months where we'd get like 20 members start, and then the next month I'd get like 2. I had no predictability as to how are we going to keep improving and how are we going to keep expanding and growing, because I had no idea what I was doing. When I learned how to actually generate income and have a plan behind it and know I could do it, well, that's when everything changed. That was when I had the confidence to start investing in staff, investing in coaches, and getting back my life, getting back my time to do what I wanted to do, as opposed to be a slave to business. I literally had a job and not a business. I had a job with the salaries to pay, the rent to pay, the stress of owning the business, customers to serve, and it wasn't nice. Oh, and guess the system I was using to get people when I was first starting out? Free trials. Free trials, zero onboarding, come try out my gym. Sometimes they join, sometimes they don't. What was I doing? I didn't have a clue. After I'd hired a business mentor, I reached out to an ads agency, like a marketing company. And I remember speaking to the guy. He was like, yeah, we can run all your ads for you. And I was like, no, no, no. I want to learn. I want you to teach me how to run the ads so I could do it myself. And so I did a course with him. He taught me how to use Facebook ads, how to use Meta ads, Instagram ads. And now I had the back-end business knowledge from my business mentor. I was now learning, because he didn't teach me any marketing, he didn't teach me any Meta ads or even how to market the business to an extent. It was all organic. And then I paired this now with the learnings I took from an ads agency. How do they set up ads? How do they run ads? How do they get leads? How do they get the leads to convert? And through doing that, I could reliably get customers every single month to my gym. And this was a game changer. I suddenly had customers wanting to start my gym month on month, and I knew the cost to acquire those customers. And this is where the whole thing changed, because I was able to open a second facility, hire a general manager at both gyms, hire a head coach, hire individual coaches to start taking the classes off me. And I was fully removed from the business. After like my first 2 years, I was pretty much out of my business. So I'd set it up to a place where I was making decent money. I'd fully stepped away, and my goal was actually to make it to the CrossFit Games. I wanted to get to the CrossFit semi-finals. I'd done a lot of training, and I was training probably 3 to 4 hours a day, 2 sessions, absolutely wrecking myself daily, and it was fun. But when it got to that point, it was that thing again of just like, this isn't what I thought it would be. Had this idea initially of getting to this point of a full-time athlete and life's gonna be good then, I'm gonna be happy then. I realized I wasn't. I got to this point of training all the time, and it just wasn't what I thought it was. I was got a bit bored of just training all the time, and I wanted more. And that's when I started looking at opening a second gym. So yeah, after about 2.5 years, and me getting bored of training all day and not really having much reward in what I was wanting to achieve, I definitely was getting satisfaction from the training, but I was putting all this hours and dedication into training to this higher standard to win a CrossFit competition that it doesn't change my life. It doesn't change my family's life financially. It doesn't provide for my family. It doesn't provide for the people around me. And I think the big mindset shift was like, yeah, why am I doing this? Like, I'm going to get so much more out of business and helping others get into fitness, because that's why most people start a gym in the first place. Is 1, they're obsessed with training, and 2, they understand the impact that health and fitness has on everyone's lives, including their own. Like, I know how much it's helped me mentally, physically. Like, it's been a huge part of my life, and I want to get more people involved in that. And I think that's why most people start a gym in the first place. There's not an amazing amount of money to be made in the gym world. Yes, you can make a good living, but you can't make millions. You're not going to make a £10 million gym, or I'm yet to see one. One of our clients we're working with turns over $1 million. That's the biggest I've seen, and that's the center of London. So you think profit, never going to be Never going to be ridiculous, not like these big businesses that will do hundreds of millions. What I'm trying to say here is the purpose of starting a gym isn't usually to make money. And it wasn't for me. It was to train all the time and have that freedom and get more people into health and fitness. And when I opened my second gym, it was so much smoother. I didn't actually get involved in the second gym in terms of I didn't run any of the classes. I didn't manage the people there because we just hired a manager. We had all the systems set out to fill it out. We had an onboarding system. We had ads set up so that we could get new members. And wow, what a smoother experience. And it wasn't from working any harder. It was through using the knowledge I'd got from running the first one and just plugging it straight into the second one and building this gym. It was amazing. That went really well. And that's when I started thinking, I don't even need to live around here. I lived in the north of the UK where it's pretty rainy all the time. There's not too much going on. So I ended up booking a one-way ticket to Bali with my brother, actually. The goal was just to enjoy life, travel, and see some cool stuff, which I did. The goal is to help more people get into health and fitness. But ultimately, as a gym owner, I understand all the struggles and have been through it, especially in the first year of opening, the stresses, the struggles of building a successful gym. And when we were in Bali, I was like, why not I reach out to some local gyms around my area and let's see if I can help them. Let's see if I can help them get more members. Let's see if I can help them be more successful, get more time back, and just run a more successful business. So I reached out to some local gyms and said, hey, this is what I've done. I've moved away. Do you want any help setting your gym up and getting new members and systemizing the business to free up your time? And we started with around 3 to 5 gyms just working for free. We just said, look, we just want a testimonial. And the results were incredible. The systems worked outside of my local area. Until you test something, you just don't know. And I'd only tested it in my local area. And then the same principles I'd used to grow one gym to 2 gyms and fill the second gym out was now working at these different locations around the UK and locally. I was like, right, this works. Let's start charging for it. Let's start making this a business. Let's set the goals high and let's get 10,000 people invested and signed up into a gym through GymGrow. And that was how the entire thing came about. Was like, it works for me. Let's get as many people as we can signed up to a gym and let's help as many gym owners get their lives back and actually enjoy the freedom of the work they're putting in, because so many gym owners are working so hard, but yet they're not getting any results. And it's not a work harder thing. It's a work smarter. Like, you don't really need to teach a gym owner to work hard because every single gym owner has incredible work ethic. It's working in the right direction on the things that actually move the needle as opposed to the things that don't, the admin tasks that you spend 7 hours of your day doing when you actually tally it up. So that is how GymGrow came about and got started. And now we're working with over 40 gyms, all over the UK and all across the globe. We've got some gyms in Australia. We've got some soon-to-be gyms in Dubai. The goal now is let's get 10,000 signups to a gym and let's help 1,000 gym owners or 1,000 gyms become successful, get more people invested in health and fitness, and get the owners to have their time back and enjoy themselves again. Get back to training, getting back to spending time with the family. And that's what it's all about. Building a successful gym that runs by itself, where you can be there out of choice, not necessity. Because trust me, it's a nice feeling when you get that. And it's so doable with the right onboarding system to get new members, the right system to keep them long term, and the system you can use to charge what you're worth, premium rates, not competing on price. Hit subscribe if you want to follow the journey.